alchemist of the mysterious journey.
This game was incredibly satisfying to play, albeit except for one aspect, but I'll get to that. So, to place some perspective, I have uploaded an unofficial review as an excerpt from my final Atelier Firis stream, but I wanted to expand in more detail. Hi, I'm One Man. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, click the bell, and select all to be notified of my content. Atelier Firis was a rather interesting game. A major departure from the traditional Atelier game, because it had more of an exploration sandbox gimmick going on, which is intriguing, I should say, considering Firis also brings back the time element that previous Atelier series had, whereas Sophie had taken away the time mechanic. It creates a small bit of tension because the game does a good job putting you in Firis' shoes, wanting to escape the mining town. It looks so bland and dreary to the point where you also wish to leave, and holy fuck, that Sophie in Placta CG is cute, awoo. Basically, Firis' get out of jail free card is the alchemy. When you gather a certain amount of ingredients, time passes by and the clock runs down. An old trademark from Atelier, albeit there's too much room to wiggle with in regards to it. When done right, it takes less than 100 days to finish up the story, when there's well over 150 days for the time limit. What I really love about Atelier Firis is the character's likability. I don't think there's a character I legitimately, and I can't even say that for Tales of friggin' Berseria. At least Berseria had a villain only a mother could love. Wait, I'm pretty sure that's not how that phrase goes. Meh, whatever. May I be honest? Wait, it's my retrospective. Of course I can! I think Atelier Firis has a good idea in concept. Open exploration with a time limit, where instead of being in a town or a singular Atelier area, a portable Atelier instead. That, in my opinion, out of everything involved with Firis, was my absolute favorite thing about this game. As certain settings were boring, the endings, while great, didn't have much satisfaction in super bosses. I think only 2 of them gave me the thrill I was looking for, and in regards to that, we get to my personal dissatisfaction from the game overall. The soundtrack. I felt like there was only 2 songs I enjoy from Atelier Firis. Maybe 3 if you consider the super boss music on Liane's route. That's 3 songs on a 3 or 4 CD OST. Not a good sign. Particularly when I had a sub in minor boss fight music with Lele Isaiah. I think I reached peak Flowers for Algernon syndrome with Lele Isaiah, because now I struggle with OSTs post-Atelier Sophie. Namely, one of them being the disappointing OST from Atelier Ryza. Don't boo me, you should be booing yourselves, as Heal R-Truth would say. Seriously, there's such a limited OST in Ryza, and before you get upset, I still do love Ryza, but I'm disturbed by the lack of impact Atelier games I've played recently have. Again, maybe I'm ailed with Flowers for Algernon syndrome. They just lack impact for the most part. Albeit one positive outlook for Atelier Firis is that the entire game feels like Ireland during their potato famine. Okay, not gonna lie. When I wrote that joke into the script, in retrospective, it kinda sounded like a very awful joke, and if you're Irish and offended, I do apologize, as the reference is supposed to represent their folksy kind of music in this game. I consider Irish Americans to have a pioneerish sort of attitude I respect, so that was where I've referenced it from. Point being, is that Atelier Firis kind of runs off like an Irish folklore legend. I honestly like Firis, and if it weren't for soundtrack issues, I'd place it as first place in the Mysterious series. Sad to say, the soundtrack makes it the weakest out of the Mysterious series, with Lydia and Sewell coming in first, damn, my bias with family story arcs getting in the way again. Then second for Sophie, as honestly, I only really like Sophie, Monica, and Plakta in the game. And the story is sort of boring, but with the cool town of Kirchenbell as the place where the atelier for the game is, and a really strong smoking sexy style tier soundtrack. And then Firis last, which is disappointing because Ichikyo-sama loves Atelier Firis. Yeah, just like Blood and Eagle Sky was a major inspiration for me to play Neptunia, alongside Lost Pause. Ichikyo-sama and Atelier Aisha were my introduction to Atelier. So in all honesty, Atelier Firis gets an 8.25 out of 10 from me. A solid game with an interesting gimmick, pretense, and idea, but poorly executed with the time mechanic barely factoring into gameplay at all, and putting it around 100 to 120 days would be a bit more exhilarating. Pick up this game, just like every other Atelier game, because the Atelier series is consistently awesome, unlike Compile Heart and Tamsoft as of late. I love Death and Request, mind you, but I don't care for Dragonstar Farnier, which has a boring story and egregiously bad character design, or Arc of Alchemist, which looked low resolution in the trailers and is yet another rehash of Death End's mechanics, but with RTS style mechanics, if what I've been seeing is correct, inserted in. And the worst part is, the only decent Neptunia game released as of late is Super Nep RPG, which by the way is pure god tier, and when I replay it but in the English version, I already know I'm going to love it. Tamsoft is a blight on Neptunia, and if Compile Heart releases more games like Dragonstar and Arc of Alchemist, I might replace Koei Tecmo above Compile Heart as my favorite gaming company. Oh, and I grew bored of Mega Mira, albeit that's less than the concept and more in the fact that I don't know Japanese, so I can't enjoy the story aspects, and I most definitely hate gacha games, which is also not Mega Mira's or Compile Heart's fault. Mega Mira gets more views by far than any other NEP game. Keep in mind, I invented Mega Mira before it was even a thing. I have the video to prove it in Why We Won't Get a Second Fairy Fencer Game. Well, that's enough of that tangent. Point of the tangent is to keep it up Koei Tecmo. Continue improving, and I cannot wait to see what the Ever trilogy brings.